The UK Royal Navy has assembled its largest carrier strike group in almost 40 years, the service announced. Commodore Steve Moorhouse, commander of the UK Carrier Strike Group, said in a statement, "Carrier Strike offers Britain choice and flexibility on the global stage. It reassures our friends and allies and presents a powerful deterrent to would-be adversaries." He added, "Protected by a ring of advanced destroyers, frigates, helicopters, and submarines, and equipped with fifth-generation fighters, HMS Queen Elizabeth is able to strike from the sea at a time and place of our choosing." The Queen Elizabeth Strike Group includes 2 destroyers, HMS Diamond D-34 and HMS Defender D-36, 2 frigates, HMS Northumberland F-238 and HMS Kent F-78, and 2 auxiliary vessels, RFA Tideforce A-139 and RFA Fort Victoria A-387. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes why the Queen Elizabeth Strike Group will be a potent adversary for Russia and China. Let's get started. This video is sponsored by War Thunder. If you are, like us, fascinated by military vehicles and technology, I recommend you give War Thunder a try. It's a military vehicle combat game which you can download and play for free on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One with cross-platform support. It has a huge variety of more than 1,200 playable aircraft, tanks, helicopters, and ships from the 1930s to the 1990s, which you can take to battle on land, in the air, and at sea on more than 80 theaters of war. War Thunder's been kind enough to offer all Defense Updates viewers a special bonus, which will grant you a free premium tank, aircraft, or ship and 3 days of premium account time for registering using our link in the description below. So take the plunge and join more than 20 million players from around the world. The Queen Elizabeth class is a class of 2 aircraft carriers of the United Kingdom's Royal Navy. HMS Queen Elizabeth, the lead ship of this class, has been commissioned in 2017. The second, HMS Prince of Wales, is scheduled for commissioning in 2020. Each will displace 65,000 tons and has a length of 280 meters. They'll carry around 1,600 personnel on board. They are the largest warships ever constructed for the Royal Navy and the second largest non-US Navy warships after the Yamato-class battleships. The cost of the program is £6.2 billion. The engine configuration of Queen Elizabeth class is as follows: 2 Rolls-Royce Marine Trent MT-30, 36 megawatt, 48,000 horsepower gas turbine engines, 4 Wärtsilä 38, 11.6 megawatt, 15,600 horsepower marine diesel engines. It has a speed of about 26 knots or 48 kilometers per hour and a range of 10,000 nautical miles or 18,520 kilometers. The ship's radars include BAE Systems and Thales S-1850M for long-range, wide-area search. The BAE Systems Artisan 3D Type 997 Maritime Medium Range Active Electronically Scanned Array Radar and Navigation Radar. BAE claims the S-1850M has fully automatic detection and track initiation that can track up to 1,000 air targets at a range of around 400 kilometers or 250 miles. For self-defense, it has Phalanx CIWS 30mm DS-30M Mark II guns and miniguns. HMS Queen Elizabeth will generally carry 24 F-35B fighters as well as 14 Merlin anti-submarine and utility helicopters. But in wartime, the carrier could carry up to 36 fighters. HMS Queen Elizabeth will have Lockheed Martin F-35B Lightning II as its main strike aircraft. The F-35 is a family of single-seat, single-engine, all-weather, stealth, multi-role fighters. The fifth-generation combat aircraft is designed to perform ground attack and air superiority missions. The F-35B, which is a short takeoff and vertical landing, Stovall variant, is the first to combine radar-evading stealth technology with supersonic speeds and the ability to work with carriers. British F-35Bs will be armed with several weapons like Meteor, ASRAAM, Paveway 4, Spear 3, to name a few. Meteor missile is currently considered to be the most potent beyond visual range air-to-air missile. The main differentiator of Meteor is its range. With 150 kilometers or around 93 miles range, it provides an ultra-long-range interception ability against fighter-sized targets critical in attaining first look, first shoot, first kill capability. HMS Diamond D-34 and HMS Defender D-36 are Type 45 destroyers. The Type 45 destroyers are 152.4 meters, or about 500 feet 0 inches in length, with a beam of 21.2 meters, a draft of 7.4 meters, and a displacement of approximately 8,500 tons. This makes them significantly larger than the Type 42 they replace. The Type 45 destroyers are primarily designed for anti-air warfare, with the capability to defend against targets such as fighter aircraft and drones, as well as highly maneuverable sea-skimming anti-ship missiles traveling at supersonic speeds. The Royal Navy describes the destroyer's mission as being to shield the fleet from air attack. The Type 45 destroyer is equipped with the Sea Viper PAAMS air defense system, utilizing the Samson Active Electronically Scanned Array multifunction radar and the S-1850M long-range radar. PAAMS is able to track over 2,000 targets and simultaneously control and coordinate multiple missiles in the air at once, allowing a large number of tracks to be intercepted and destroyed at any given time. This makes it particularly difficult to swamp PAAMS during a saturation attack, even if the attacking elements are supersonic. A core component of PAAMS is the Aster missile, comprising Aster 15 and Aster 30. MBDA describes Aster as a hit-to-kill anti-missile missile capable of intercepting all types of high-performance air threats at a maximum range of 120 kilometers, or about 75 miles. In addition to its anti-air warfare, PAAMS offers additional ballistic missile defense capabilities. Nick Brown, the editor-in-chief of Jane's International Defense Review, was quoted by the Huffington Post, a U.S. online news aggregator and blog, saying, "It's, Type 45 destroyer, certainly one of the most advanced air defense ships in the world. The U.S. Aegis system is similar, but Sea Viper is more advanced." HMS Northumberland F-238 and HMS Kent F-78 are Type 23 frigates. The Type 23 frigate, or Duke class, is a class of frigates built for the United Kingdom's Royal Navy. They form the core of the Royal Navy's destroyer and frigate fleet and serve alongside the Type 45 destroyers. Initially, Type 23 was intended to be a light anti-submarine frigate to counter Soviet nuclear submarines operating in the North Atlantic. As a result of lessons learned from the Falklands War, the design grew in size and complexity to encompass the vertical launch VLS Seawolf system with an extra tracking system as a defense against low-flying aircraft and sea-skimming anti-ship missiles such as Exocet. With the addition of Harpoon surface-to-surface missiles and a medium-caliber gun for naval gunfire support, Type 23 has evolved into a more complex and balanced vessel optimized for general warfare, which introduced a host of new technologies and concepts to the Royal Navy. RFA Tideforce and RFA Fort Victoria are Tide-class replenishment tankers of the British Royal Fleet Auxiliary, RFA. Tide-class has tanks for diesel oil, aviation fuel, 19,000 cubic meters, and freshwater, 1,400 cubic meters. HMS Queen Elizabeth is a modern carrier, and its capabilities are surpassed only by American Nimitz and Ford-class supercarriers. Though the carrier is not nuclear-powered, it still has enough range to project power far away from the British homeland. In a speech to the Royal United Services Institute think tank in London last year, Gavin Williamson, who was the Defense Secretary at that time, had said the HMS Queen Elizabeth would also make appearances in the Mediterranean and the Middle East, apart from the Asia-Pacific. Williamson had added, "The UK is a global power with truly global interest. We must be prepared to compete for our interests and our values far, far from home." The Ministry of Defense has been urged by several British politicians to send HMS Queen Elizabeth to the South China Sea to stand up to China. All of these indicate that the Queen Elizabeth Strike Group will likely play a much more proactive role, and with its excellent capabilities, it will be a major headache for Russia and China.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.